on the ride on our rivals. They can't stop us now, but go ahead and try though. All they gonna feel is the pain inside. Ho, foes get land. It's your boy Gangster F Gucci back with another one, baby. So I'm gonna keep on addressing some of these incidents that happen as far as internal conflict with some of these Southside Sureño gangs up north in San Jose, California. Today I'm gonna hit you guys with this Tamilee gangster story. Now, you gotta understand that when I'm speaking on all these things, money, I don't do it to like glorify shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it to tell you or to make you believe or think that this lifestyle is for everybody or anybody. You know what I'm saying? These things that occurred, and a lot of things that happened back in the fucking 90s, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sugarcoat the shit. At the same time, like I said, I don't glorify the lifestyle, and I don't want anybody to believe or think that this shit's hella freedom and cool. You know what I'm saying? Because you can end up in that box in the back over there for the rest of your life, or you can end up in the box under the ground. You know, and that's done. You know what I'm saying? You done data, baby. You know what I'm saying? Forget about your life type of shit. So, like I said, I don't do this because I just want you dudes, you know, to feel like there's something that you might want to do. This is shit that you maybe want to think about if you even want to do any of this type of things, because nowadays it's about feria. It's about starting your business. It's about organizing your people. It's about fucking, you know what I'm saying, getting to that next level. It's about progress, you know, productivity. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's really about, you know, but somebody got to tell these motherfucking stories. And your boy, you know what I'm saying, I got this channel and I'm here to let you know what exactly occurred and what happened. Now, I don't got all the fucking details because I ain't a Sureño and I ain't from this fucking gang and I don't know everything exactly, but I can tell you the shit that I do know and that what I remember. You know what I'm saying? And some of the shit that I've, you know, gathered up from other people. Now, McLaughlin, like I said, that shit's a stronghold for Sureños. That area, that whole shit, that whole strip. Don't get me wrong, you still got some homeboys out there, but at the end of the day, these dudes from VTG, they've whacked out a lot of homies. And when I say a lot, like I'm not talking about like handfuls, but there's fools laying under the ground behind this fucking gang. And this gang even made examples of norteños to try to put these other dudes from the south side in line and let them know that you could be next if you don't, you know what I'm saying, fall in place, baby. And it wasn't because anybody else was telling them what to do. Is that this gang was a real big gang at one point. From 93 to 97, 98, a lot of these other Sureño Varrios weren't really fucking with me. They didn't really like these dudes because these dudes were kind of like bullies, you know what I'm saying? And they even called them tamaleros, which is like tamales, because they had the largest or biggest amount of Spanish-speaking Sureños, you know what I'm saying, from this gang. This hood right here is right next door. And when I say next door, I literally mean like there was a wall that basically divided Monte Alban and Tamilee. A fucking wall. And these Sureños, they used to go and post up right there on Carnelian, you know, the closest to Monte Alban. And Monte Alban would climb on top of the fucking wall and start busting caps at these fools. So these fools had to stop posting up in that little area right there because, you know, it was likely that they might end up being victims because these dudes were waiting for them to post up there. And like I said, Monte Alban money back in the days, this hood was no joke. You know what I'm saying? They had to fight to leave their hood and fight to get back into the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? They had to really they were ruthless. The savages, you know what I'm saying, with the fucking business to the point that they got hit by the fucking feds and they got indicted, they got a gang abatement, and they got pushed out of that area. Don't get me wrong, there was a couple of stragglers there, but at the end of the day, these Southsiders were just overwhelmingly too much for these dudes in those areas, and a lot of the homeboys ended up moving out, or got pushed out, and at some point, Clanton ended up moving in that area. The problem with that is that VCT and VTG, they weren't feeling that shit. Now, you got to understand, these Varrios right here, these two hoods, the one that's over off of McLaughlin Park and then VTG that's on Tamilee, these dudes have been fighting with Monte Alban for decades for someone else to just come and move inside there. Like, what the fuck? Hell no. At the same time, for me, I'd rather have another gang there as far as Southsiders than have some Norteños start blowing up in that area again, and then it's going to be more problems and more beef. So, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you got to accept, you know, the good shit, you know what I'm saying, and weigh out the pros and cons of the situation. And I think, like I said, it's always better to have your own there than to have somebody else. And although they're not your own, they're still your own. You know what I mean? That type of shit, right? So, like I said, Tamilee wasn't no joke. Tamilee from 93 to 97, like I said, behind this whole American me, these are one of the Varrios that, you know what I'm saying, blew the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Along with the homeboys helping out because we pushed all the paisas to start banging the South. there was someone in my comments that said, oh, someone sent them over there. They didn't send them over there for nothing. Man, the paisas didn't come over here knowing they were going to be sureños. The paisas got pushed into that shit. So that had nothing to do with them. And if it would have just been some fools from down south that came up here and thought they were going to take over, it would have never fucking happened. Because without these fucking paisas, these sureños would have never got big in San Jose. Their hoods would have never grown. You know what I'm saying? So people got to understand. It was the paisas that pushed this shit. It was the paisas that were the backbone to this whole shit up north. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Sanjo. You know what I mean? Real life shit. And when I say paisas, I mean the sureños. The paisas who basically were being pushed around, got tired of being fucked with by these chicanos, and became sureños. And they're the ones that made all these gangs fucking strong. Like I said, VTG was one of the biggest gangs. It wasn't because there was a gang of chicanos. It's because there was a gang of fucking paisa vatos that decided to run with this shit and start banging Sud and made this gang fucking strong. Made this gang, no joke. And these dudes, they whacked out people. For anybody to say that, oh, they ain't shit, they're nobodies, the sureños ain't never been nothing, it's fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I know. These dudes put in mad work. These dudes, there's dudes from this Varrio and from these other Varrios that are doing fucking 20, 50 to life in prison. There's a lot of these dudes that put people under the ground, and there's a lot of these dudes that are under the ground because they were right here in the backyard, you know what I'm saying, fighting behind enemy lines. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of shit when it comes to these dudes, you feel me, that people don't recognize or people don't want to recognize. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. And although there's a lot of these dudes that don't like me, I don't like them either. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these are fucking dudes I don't like. If I see some of them, I'm not going to take off. If they disrespect me, I'm going to fucking do what I got to do when I got to do it. As simple as that. Ain't nobody say I want to be friends with nobody, and I ain't doing this shit because I want some new special friends and none of that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing this shit out because the real is the real, and real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, like I said, I'm letting you know, because not only am I telling the story about how these guys had their own internal conflict and how they dealt with it, as far as, there was weaponry pulled out. There was motherfuckers that shed blood. No one fucking got whacked out. But like I said, amongst themselves, they dealt with shit. Because sureños, at the end of the day, no matter what Varrio they're from, they're one big Varrio. You know what I'm saying? Because when push comes to shove and they don't start snatching these fools up, they're all going to get together and they're going to fight back as one. You know what I'm saying? All under one umbrella, the sureño umbrella. You know what I mean? Straight up. That's just the way it is. Or the Southside umbrella. However, whatever way you want to call it. Like I said, we're not in the Pinta, we're in the streets. And like I told people before, we call them sureños because that's how they established themselves here in San Jose. And I know that means something else, but here in Sanjo, this, like I said, a lot of these vatos were Spanish speaking. And that's what I mean by them being the fucking backbone. And that's why they've always been known as sureños. Now, if these dudes came from LA back in the days and there was just all carloads and busloads of these fools, then maybe they would be known as Southsiders or Southerners. But that's not the case. Now, a lot of us have been to the Pinta. Of course, we use those terms. You know what I'm saying? Sureño ain't to be used loosely. But when it comes to the gangs here in Sanjo, like I said, this is how they've been recognized. This is how they've been labeled. You know what I mean? And VTG, like I said, this is one of them gangs that was up there. They were strong. They were at one point one of the biggest gangs in Sanjo. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, they were fucking dangerous. You got to remember, they were dealing with dangerous ass people. You know what I'm saying? So they have to, they have to adapt and be as dangerous in order to survive, in order to fucking, deal with whatever comes their way. This valley right here has a bunch of speed bumps. So you got to watch out when you're moving around over there. Because if you don't move around in the right way and go, down the right street, because the wrong street will take you, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get that ambulance ride. You know what I'm saying? And those ambulance rides are expensive. So you want to be smart about this shit. You know what I'm saying? You want to be real smart about doing what you got to do. Remember, you want to be a criminal, be a smart criminal. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go put in work, and you want to get away with this shit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be on some old ninja shit, money. So you got to know, who you're dealing with and how you're going to deal with them type of shit. And like I said, I don't talk about none of this stuff because I'm glorifying this whole gang shit. None of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm just profiling some of these Varrios, and then how they were and what they did and what we had to deal with as norteños, because these dudes, they weren't punks or pussies like a lot of these other people want to give the impression. You know what I'm saying? Or the ideal to other people that don't know. These gangs are no joke. These dudes will whack you out if they had the opportunity to. Now, I'm not saying they were all fucking insane and crazy, because a lot of these dudes, they were fucking weenies and snitches. You know what I'm saying? But they also had a lot of savages and dudes that'll fucking whack your ass out without even thinking twice about it. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is, right? That's the way it was. And like I said, I'm talking about the 90s when gangbanging was gangbanging, even the early 2000s before this shit got hella watered down. You know what I mean? So VTG, like I said, they were pretty strong. A lot of them were going to the Pinta, but they were running with the Border Brothers. Regardless, they came out with that Pintero status. You know what I'm saying? And with that, they tried to push issues. And they wanted certain people, certain Varrios, like SSP, Clanton, VMLs, and other hoods, to pay rent or to pay taxes for moving dope in their neighborhood. Now you got to understand, when I say their neighborhood, you got to remember the South Siders, they couldn't just move anywhere. They couldn't move into Palm House. They couldn't move into West Side Mob. They couldn't move into Varrio Horseshoe. They couldn't move in certain areas. I mean, they could, but at one point when someone found out you were there, the chances of you either getting set up, your house shot up, cocktailed, and all kinds of other type of shit that could happen was real possible. I'm talking about 99%. So what these dudes have to do is they have to move into other neighborhoods, other Sureño neighborhoods that are already secured. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, having a safety net, the security blanket type of thing, right? That's what they have to do. So they can't just move anywhere. So a lot of these hoods will move hood to hood. And VTG was aware that a lot of these Varrios were moving in, these dudes from these different Varrios were moving into their neighborhood and selling dope. And because of this, VTG wanted to tax these cats. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, like I said before, Montalban was no joke. And for Clanton to move inside of there, VTG had problems with that shit. And not only that, dudes from Clanton, one of the main dudes from LA, I think he had crossed out VTG on one of them big ass dumpsters over there in their hood, because it's all apartments. And VTG ended up catching this dude and jumping them, and then that became fucking issues and problems. You know what I'm saying? So there's always been little issues here and there. And when I say like long time situation, there's no long time war. People might, it depends on which war is, when people are getting whacked out. You know what I mean? War is when, you know, there is no like limitations. You know what I mean? There's no rules. You know what I'm saying? War is war. It's all out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can get it type of shit. So that's the difference. These vatos never had that kind of, you know, war. You know what I'm saying? But they always had their differences, and they dealt with it however which way they had to deal with it. Rather they were, you know, they had their own little melees, you know, 2-on-2. The motherfuckers got jumped, all that type of shit. And like I said before, Clanton is one of them gangs, money, that they're not homegrown. You know what I'm saying? They came from LA, and they're trying to, you know, they're trying to be here and trying to be there. And like I said, they had the situation where they were an SSP, and SSP wanted to claim that whole territory. So they wanted everybody that was there to either get jumped in their hood or get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Then they went over there in San Tomas area, where, you know, VST claims all that area. You know what I'm saying? And they were over there in some apartments over there, on, I think, Underwood Apartments off of San Tomas, and VST wasn't having it. You know, and then now they're on McLaughlin, so it's almost like you're getting pushed out of all these fucking areas, and some motherfuckers ain't having that shit. And after you get pushed out of 1, 2, 3 areas, it's like, fuck you. I ain't getting, we're here now. That's it. We ain't going nowhere else type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's an attitude that you'll have, you know, after so many times of motherfuckers trying to push you, you know, a certain type of way. You know what I mean? Some motherfuckers ain't going to have it. And that was an issue with Clanton and these dudes. Plus, they weren't going to pay no taxes for living in that area.